My regimental number was E29986, and the rifle that I carried for, well, until it was taken away from me, the number was I59544. Well, the first day we were ordered to go and defend Mount, oh geez, I guess it's Bridge Hill. I'm always confused about the names of the different peaks on the island. But it was Bridge Hill, I guess. Anyway, we walked up the water catchment about, oh gee, it must have been a mile up to the top of the hill. And we were overlooking the reservoir and a bridge across the reservoir. And the Japanese troops were crossing the bridge. There was some horses or mules and some armored vehicles as well, and some troops on foot. And the fighting started, and they were firing at us with 6-inch mortars, or mortars, I think of 6-inch mortars. And several of our guys got killed there, and we had to retreat. And we were just overwhelmed. That's it. And I remember Jim Dare, of course, was shot through he got a bullet through the leg, and we carried him out. Somebody had brought a ground sheet, kind of a poncho-like affair. I don't know if they had them when you were in the army.
Yes.
You did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we wrapped that around 2 rifles anyway, made a makeshift stretcher. Now, Jim Darrow was a big man. He probably weighed 200 pounds, and he was over 6 feet tall. So you can imagine now how
unwieldy, I guess.
Oh yeah, his head was hanging over one end and his wounded leg over the other end. And we carried him down the water catchment. And I guess what happened when we got to the bottom, I don't recall. I know that I was exhausted.
The way I'd heard the story too is that it started to rain.
Yes, it rained.
And the water catchment started to
fill up. Yes, and that was a little bit tough, because we had to. You see, the water catchment is about I'll say 4 feet deep, but it's hardly that, hardly 4 feet deep. And now we're carrying this man, and we couldn't carry him too low because the water was rising, and he would have drowned, of course. And at the same time, we couldn't stand up and carry him because we'd be shot. So it was a pretty difficult trip. Anyway, we got to the bottom. Well, the night it got dark eventually before we got to the bottom, so I guess that saved us.
That was the first contact with the Japanese.
Yep.